VVA Chapter 1067, Huntsville, Alabama.
If we would stand, I will call the meeting to order. Where's Lonnie?
Lonnie's ill today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Will you serve in his stead as
Sure.
all right.
What does he do?
He is sergeant at arms.
Right?
I don't think it shouldn't have to have you muscle anybody, but
Okay. All right. Gentlemen, please, can we start with the pledge or the...
we're going to have the prayer, Mr. Yateman.
Okay.
Uncover. Dear gracious Father, we're indebted to you for your mercy and love and tender care, for giving us the chance to come out and take care of the business of this organization. Bless our leader. Continue to be upon him and bless him and strengthen him, because he is special in our hearts. Guide us as we go through our business today. Be mindful of those that are not present, for those that are still in service today in harm's way. Watch over them. Be with our president, be with our leaders of this organization. And Lord, and remember the POWs and MIAs and the families that paid the price also. Lead us and guide us and direct us. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance led by our sergeant at arms.
Aye.
Big flag.
Big flag. Present. Arm. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Halt.
You may be seated.
Aye. Yes, I be Lonnie today. Turn your phones off. I'll get that money.
There you go. Thank you, because I did forget.
We have a reading of the Declaration and Principles of VVA. John Hall.
Declaration and Principles. We, the veterans who served during the Vietnam War, who embraced through sacrifice and service to country the most fundamental and cherished bonds of our democracy, reaffirm that commitment to spirit and ideals, accepting it as a solemn responsibility of our survival to bear the burden of what has been, so that tragedy once endured can never be forgotten. And so do we resolve that the true measure of worth as citizens, as veterans, and as patriots be found in our willingness to draw from and abide by these strengths and convictions born of heritage and experience. All that sacred and binding contract exists between governors and governed, with the latter recognizing an obligation of compulsory foreign or domestic service equitably shared by all, and the former morally obligated to implement foreign and domestic policies that are clear, consistent, and reflective of the will of the people. To hold further that the contract extends to post-obligatory service with a nation bound, whenever and wherever appropriate, to the prompt delivery of compensation to individuals or survivors in direct proportion to sacrifice and service rendered. To honor with dignity the sacred memory of the war dead, and so in dignity ensure that the lasting legacy of the fallen is responsibility toward, not exploitation of, their sacrifice. To stand for cooperation, dialogue, and friendship among the nations of the world community, with full respect and support of those principles central to our national life.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, point of order.
Yes, sir.
As a sergeant at arms, I would request Mr. Payne quit talking while we're conducting business.
Yes, sir,
It's very
Mr. Sergeant at
annoying.
Arms. You are empowered to remove a person that's been called attention to who is disrupting the meeting.
You're a rude man, and you know it. You constantly do that. He was reading a sacred document, and you're sitting there chit-chatting. I don't appreciate it. And I don't know how the rest of you feel, but there are certain things that we should abide by.
Well, thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Thank you. It doesn't mean a damn to you, but I brought it to you anyway.
Thank you, Mr. Sergeant at Arms. We now call to the roll call of officers. And pardon my not standing up, but I accept that from any of you. I will appoint a recording secretary in absence of our secretary who's been ill. And I would ask Dean Cochran if you would assume that responsibility.
I will assume it, sir, with the approval of the members.
Is there an objection to me naming Dean Cochran as recorder? Hearing none, let the minutes show that Dean Cochran is named as a recorder and will be counted in the roll call under the secretary. I would ask Dean, since you are now the secretary, if you would call the roll of the officers. And when you call the chapters, we don't have a list of the membership, but I would ask each chapter to tell us what their membership is, and we will let you know how many delegates you have. So Dean, if you would do that for me, sir.
President,
Here.
first vice,
Here.
second vice,
He is absent. He called me this morning. He's running a fever, throwing up virus and all kind of stuff.
treasurer,
Here.
secretary, here.
Here.
Well, recorder, here. Chapter 301.
Here.
How many delegates? You have two?
Three.
3 delegates?
Chapter 373.
3.
Chapter 416.
Here, 2.
502.
1.
522.
There is no 522.
522.
Should be 511.
511.
511, I'm sorry, we'll correct that.
I think there are 4 of us. Are there 4 of us?
3 of us.
3 of us.
607.
3.
637. Nobody?
No, sir.
701.
Suspended.
No, sir.
786.
No.
864. 2. 945.
545 is 2.
2.
I'm sorry, I just didn't hear you.
1067.
13.
13. All right. We have a quorum.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Thank you very much.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. There's a move. Is there a,
That's second.
Mr. Harmon? On the approval of the agenda, do you have a motion?
Yes, I'd like to, I didn't know you was gonna do it at this time.
Well, we're following the agenda. Should you follow?
Warren Harmon, chapter 1067. I would like to make a motion that we suspend the vote on the bylaw changes which were suspended from October 2019 ASC meeting until the first quarterly Alabama State Council meeting after the state convention and election of new officers at the June 2020 state convention, which is going to be held in Huntsville in June this year. I'd like to make that motion.
Bobby Langford, 1067.
A motion and a second to delete item under old business. There's a motion and a second. All in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Now we go back to the motion of approving of the agenda. All in favor of approving the agenda as amended, say aye. Aye. Let the record show, Mr. Cochran, that we amended the agenda and we approved it.
Motion to approve the minutes as delivered by October minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Yes, sir.
I have 2 corrections, sir, before we,
I'm sorry.
One section was that I received a message from Ron Moore. We needed to include his figures for 864s and their financial totals. That was a correction. And I had to correct the date to the meeting to today from the 15th. So with those changes, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Without further discussion, is there objection to approving the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Without objection, the minutes are approved as presented. Finance report. Mr. Treasurer, we have a copy of the finance report.
The checking account, we have $17,848.51. In the savings, we have $13,453.85. And assets of $31,302.36.
I would remind each chapter that they need to get their activity report in to get their $500 check today. Is that correct?
I got most of them, or got a few of them. No, I don't. I only have 4 of them.
I will call your attention to, under the finance report, you all have a copy of the report. We have $13,453.55 in a money market account. We set that up 20 years ago when the interest rates were significant. We could combine that and just have one business checking account if we chose to. Did I hear somebody say something? Really, it serves no function to have 2 different accounts totaling up. Those are assets that we use operationally. Is there a preference among the body about what we should do? Yes, sir. Mr. Yates.
So for our 301, being that the interest rates today is as low as they are, and we're not making anything off of that now, I'd say that we move it over and put it in one account.
All right. Did I hear somebody raise their cane? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Did you comment?
Yes. What's it called?
Money market account.
You got to. Did you get
Yeah,
that?
it's called money, no, I'm talking about y'all gonna combine the two
Yes.
and do away with the money market.
Right.
I agree.
After 30 years.
Mr. Becker,
I just have a question. What's the current interest on it?
0.42%.
That's about what you're getting now.
It's more trouble keeping up with it than
Excuse me, do you have a choice of where you can invest it?
we're just going to put it in the Regions account.
All right,
We're going to cash, it's a money market, it's not like a CD. You just take, it's at the same bank, you just go to the bank and put it in from one account to the other.
I know Regions has options where you can take your money and put it in insurance company investments that pays 5% over 5 years, so.
Yeah, but you gotta keep it in there. You don't
You
have
have to-
access to your money.
Well,
The general
Tied
rule,
up.
you put it in there for 5 years, you take it out after 5.
5 years, we may not even exist in 5 years.
Thank you very
Then you
much.
won't need the money.
That's right.
there's a motion to combine those 2 accounts. and just
Second.
transfer them. Second. The motion and second. Is there further discussion? Without further discussion, all in favor of this action, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Alabama Foundation report, we still get approximately $3,200 a month from the state. It's maintained in an account, and as the state, as the treasurer needs money, the money automatically goes in that. That's a single use. We do a 501c3 report. You notice that we have $31,000 cash on hand when we combine the 2 accounts, which is at least a 6 months operational function for this account. And the foundation account now is approximately $40,000. We receive money 10 months of the year, and that's because of the tag money. It's been very consistent. Surprisingly or not, with the deaths and all that stuff, we really haven't seen a significant change. And are there any questions about that? State Board of Veterans Affairs report. I would make an additional report before the report. An issue came up this year, apparently within the Board of Veterans Affairs, and it came to me because it came up in the Board of Veterans Affairs, about a charge or a consideration of our representative to the State Board of Veterans Affairs. Our state representative on the State Board of Veterans Affairs is Ken Rollins. Apparently some discord existed within the State Board of Veterans Affairs and questioned the representation that we select. And I got an inquiry from several people, including the governor, and about our representation. And I also got a letter that was written by Admiral Davis, who is the executive director of the State Department of Veterans Affairs. The governor, upon examination of all the situation involved, wrote me and indicated to me that she was taking no action and that our representative would be seated with no change. That's an action that I was involved in, apart from any activity in the State Board of Veterans Affairs. And so that's why I give you that report, and that dealt with, that's where the president got involved with this organization and actually got involved in the governor. I actually did not get down in the weeds to find out what somebody's complaint was, but that was the governor and her staff person that involved themselves in, and Admiral Davis. That matter is concluded. The governor's letter is on record. If you have any further information that you need to know, we'll discuss that in private. Is there any other concern at this time that you want me to report on about that issue? Hearing none, I would assume that issue is concluded. We will then move with the State Board of Veterans Affairs report.
Okay, the main thing going on at the board is I was hoping to have your report today, but as of Friday I couldn't get it. I wanted to have a architectural drawing of the new veterans homes we're going to build in Enterprise, and that's going to be 150, 175 private rooms. So it's going to be a huge facility, above 60 million. And hopefully I have that at the next time. But there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through. Land, got to procure the land and all that kind of thing, because the federal government's involved with it. And we have to show complete ownership, and there's no environmental problems, etc. Just a whole lot of stuff in the weeds is what he's talking about, but that goes along with a big project like that. It's going to be much, much bigger than what you see in Pell City from what we're looking at right now. So hope to at the next meeting to have something I can show you on a drawing as to what that new home will look like. We're looking at a couple of years down the road, and it's supposed to take care of the veteran population through 2024. So all of you want to mark your calendars through 2024. We'll have a home for those veterans. Oh, yes, sir.
What is our current wait list at the location,
You got
our state location?
2 to 3 years at the William Howard, Colonel Howard home in Pell City. 7 months is the average for the other 3 homes. And they got a waiting list. Each one of the homes has got a waiting list that's enough to fill it up over. If you just emptied it out, they'd have enough on the waiting list to refill it. But those are 2 beds to a room. Not many of us want to be in a room with somebody that's got loud grandkids coming to visit or something like that. So we're building single rooms, private rooms, and no double stories like you got in Alexander City and that kind of thing. So building it for the veterans throughout 2024 is what this is supposed to cover. When we built the one at Howard, they said in the year 2020, now they projected this in 2004, the company we hired out of Wisconsin projected that there'd be very few World War II veterans in the year 2020. Now look what's happening. We have when I get that monthly report, we got we got Desert Storm people in these homes. And if you think about that, that was in 1990. You know, go back that far, that's 30 years ago. So we had, if you were 40 years old when you went into Desert Storm, a lot of them people, large people, went in 40, 50 years old. So they're in the home. You go in and you see a roster with a lot of Desert Storm folks and a lot of Vietnam veterans. That's sad to see, but we got, I see the majority of them, I see guy hats like we wear. It's quite a deal. But the one thing is we got a great company do it. It's been doing this for years. They got several homes from South Carolina to here, and they spare no expense to take care of the veterans. So most people say, what a great place to spend my last years. But keep in mind, this is not nursing home. These are not. These are veterans' homes. This is where you spend your last days on this earth. And so that's why yes, sir.
I have a question, Ken. Warren Harmon, Chapter 1067. You have someone appointed at all those homes that plays the capacity of a veteran service officer that files and handles their VA claims? Well, we were just told in Huntsville by the lady there that she is like a veteran service officer and she takes care of their claims and stuff.
Charlotte?
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Well, see, I've been doing that. I was over all the homes for 15 years. I had no idea.
Well, we offered to do it.
Yeah.
And she said she does it.
I think what she's referring to, she refers them to the people there in Huntsville that the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs got officers in Huntsville.
Well, we offered to do it through our chapter and the VSO that we use in Florence, which we have had great results from. She's gotten many people 100%, and she's gotten lots of our veterans back pays of anywhere from 50-something thousand to 100,000.
Let me suggest something to you then. You put yourself in the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs, the Tut Fan and all the other homes. You have to be very careful as to what you allow to happen in that home, because ultimately she is responsible. If somebody filed a claim and didn't get what they wanted, they can say, the home is the one that put me over there. Charlotte's the one that did this. So we got to make sure our people, the state people, are protected from kickback if some, a blowback if something goes wrong in that claim. Because you know how people are when they get the claim denied, so they have to, there may be I can't believe that.
Let's not go into filing claims. Let's go ahead. I want you to explain a little bit more about how one gets in the homes, how one applies, and because the question was about the waiting time, and I think that is more complicated than even that.
I got you.
And let me finish. So I would like for you to go into what is the process that one would anticipate to apply to get into one of the homes, and what is the expectation that a veteran would experience in that processing.
Number one, first thing you do is you have your primary care doctor write you a prescription.
Prescription for what?
I'm going to tell you. Joe Jones needs long-term health care due to falling, slipping, memory loss, any number of things. That prescription would go because the home has to know what your problem is. Then you find that Department of Veterans Affairs in your area, and you go down and have somebody go down and file a claim, or application rather, for a home. You don't say which one, just because here's what the doctor said: you need long-term care because you're slipping and falling and those kind of things. Then the home will get it and research it and get in contact with you.
That's filed in each individual home, the four homes.
Yeah.
You got to pick one, right?
No.
It's not done centrally, it's done at each home.
You file for it. The doctor says you need a home. It doesn't say where you need it now.
So where do you file that?
At the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs, where Mike Davis used to work. One of those places in Limestone County or somewhere, they got applications. You put in on that application and it'll go to the director, Kim Justice in Montgomery. She'll assign it to whichever home. They'll send somebody closest to you to visit with you to see what you do. First of all, they don't want somebody that's angry, fighting, and all that kind of putting the other veterans in jeopardy. They will interview you, and then you get put on a waiting list. And when you get put on the waiting list and you get that call, you don't know when it's going to be. Maybe 6 months, 8 months, maybe a year. But when you get the call, 24 hours to act, or you're moved back to the back of the list. You got 24 hours. That bed can only be open for so long. So you got to be ready once you get on that list. And it's pretty simple. Once you put your application in the Department of Veterans Affairs, it's up to the system to take place, and it goes through the hoops to find out which if you got say you got dementia, onset dementia. The one at Robert Howard down there has a separate unit just for dementia, and so you don't want dementia patients in there with your general population, so to speak.
Question.
Yeah.
Didn't you tell me before that if they moved you to one of those far away, that you could remain on the waiting list?
Yes,
like
sir.
if you lived in Huntsville?
Yes, sir.
You could remain on their waiting list,
Yes,
and
sir.
they would move you when the time comes?
Yeah. When your name, you go down there and you go to Alexander City, but you wanted to go to Pell City, and you was number 160 on the waiting list in Pell City. As those numbers get back down, they'll come around to your number again, and then when it does, you can move from there back to Pell City. We have people relocating all the time. We get closer to the family. It works better for the home when somebody is in a home closer to their family. So if you live in Athens, it makes more sense for you to be in Tutphan. But if you need long-term care and the doctor says you got to have it, or you're going to kill your fool self falling in the shower, they put you somewhere, maybe in Mobile, maybe in Athens.
Thank you. I think you answered the question. Mr. Hall, please stand and ask your question.
Jonathan Hall, Chapter 495, 945, sorry. It's my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they have now established practice where combat veterans are getting preference as for being placed in a home.
It's always been that way.
It's always been that
Well, they're
way.
just bringing it up again to make sure that it's adamant and upfront with everybody.
And it is for a discussion before the board. We got a research committee to look at that, to see if it needs to be tweaked. And we'll vote on it before we send it back to, it'll have to be a law change is what'll happen. It'll have to be through the legislature. But we're not making a decision. We got a committee that's been appointed to look into it, come back with a recommendation.
So the criteria for admission is subject to change by the legislature and will be published so we can all become aware of
If
it.
it does, but we don't, none of us don't think it's gonna happen. It's been
Is there a
talked,
percentage of disability that's required to go?
the 70% disability, you don't pay anything. That's, the pay has to do it. If you're 70% or above, you don't pay anything for any of the homes.
I thought it was $11.75 a day.
It is, but if you're 70% disability, don't you pay anything.
No, you don't give that to them. You give them $11.75 a day.
Please stand up,
No.
and I can't hear.
If you're 70% disabled, you don't pay anything. But if you're not 70%, you pay $11.75. At the others, it's like $16 at the no, it's more 20-something dollars at Howard home.
Okay, I've always been under misconceptions about that,
Well,
because every time I've asked, they've said $11.75 a day.
It
Who
is.
had you asked?
The home, like Tutphan?
Yeah, they'll tell you that, but they're not saying it. But if you say I'm 70%, they'll tell you, they better tell you zero.
Okay, I'll try that, 'cause
Tell
I'm
Charlotte I
100%.
said it. Yes, sir.
Harry
Yes.
Ranger, 373. I tried to get to this earlier on your report that you started out the conversation with, that you were going to try to have for us today, about the new home.
Oh, you're from down there, so you'd be interested. It's,
Go ahead. I'd like to know how big a check
well,
to write next time.
we're in the process of getting the property through the deeds and all that kind of thing, all those things. Then we got to figure out where we're gonna have a staff to start it up, not to go into the home, but people to say, this is what we need over here and this is what we need over here. And an architect, Game hired an architect as of a week or so.
Let me, Ken, I'm gonna try to save a bunch of words for us. My question is, the cities that submitted a proposal on this, will they automatically get a copy of that report, or do we need to request it from you?
What report?
When you were talking about having a report on the facility going out to Enterprise.
It'll be on the website, but they come to the meeting. The people from the city of Enterprise are attending the board meeting. So it's not something to be sent out, they'll get that information firsthand.
I think, if I
Who
may,
those are?
I was at the meeting and representative for all of the cities that made proposals were there,
Exactly.
and they got to report at that meeting. Does that answer your question?
Well, it does, if that's the same report you were referring to.
Yeah.
It's the same report,
Okay.
but I'm saying they are there, your city officials are at the meetings and get the same information I get and everybody else gets. Except I go to a meeting prior to that on the Homes
You
Committee.
answered my question, that's all I
Yeah,
wanted to know.
and it's making sausage, you don't need to get into that, yes. That's all. Yes, sir.
Again,
No, I'm,
Okay. I think you-
He's calling on people for me.
yeah.
All right.
Is there any other question, comment, or discussion? Mr. Cochran, did-
talking in the future, wait. My knees are hurting.
oh, I'm sorry. Everybody else has to sit down, you have to stand up. That's good. Thank you. The next item is membership report. I'm trying to find the last email I got. I don't have it that I get from Bill Meeks. But the membership report was, Mike had it to deliver. I don't have it. But we continue to grow. Most of our chapters stay real stable. The state council has grown. But I don't have the membership report. I'm looking for the old email. I'm sorry I don't have it.
The growth of Alabama probably goes along with Huntsville, and you have, what, 600 members now plus?
On the 31 January roster, we officially have 614. We're actually in the 630s
You have 614.
on the national roster.
That's what you said.
The end of
You have
January.
614. It's not
614, that's right. And the end of February strength will count all the way to June, whatever the end of February roster has.
I'm just trying to clarify the projections and whatever. Okay, thank you very much. So we're about stable, okay?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Since you're talking about membership, could you work out a program for the chapters so that we could get some seed money so we could help recruit? One of the projects we've talked about in our chapter is offering a new member a $25 incentive. They pay $25, we pay $25. If the state could do just some PR work, it would help in our recruitment. Just a question.
The national membership was reduced to $50 for a lifetime membership.
Right.
That's pretty cheap.
He's talking about putting some advertisement out to put the word out that we are wanting members.
How are you gonna do that?
Public service announcement
Public service
from the
announcement,
state, that would help.
advertising,
You're talking
money.
thousands and thousands.
I have
Y'all
a
got more thousands than we do.
Yeah.
question. Sir,
I'm listening. Yes, sir.
since we have the
Stand up,
majority,
identify yourself.
I ain't
Or
standing.
identify yourself.
Uh, Since we have the majority of the presidents present, can we ask for a number count of what they estimate that, like Warren just said, he's 614, I'm 154. That will tell us what each individual president or his membership person will know. And then we'll have a fairly good number of what we have in-house.
Well, that's what the $500 is for you to promote your chapters.
He's
I'm
saying
not
if
understanding.
he said if we do a roll call of the chapter so they can tell their current membership, That way you'll know the state membership.
I'll get the actual number from Mike and send it out, that way we won't
Okay.
we'll have the official number. Yes, sir.
Charlie Miller, Chapter 1067. I got a proposal and a solution for you all's problem. I will let you all hire out my membership chairman. He can show you how to create members. I'm serious. He can show you how to create members. I tell you, our goal for the next year is to catch that chapter in Florida.
1036.
1036. He can show you how to do it. We just got to set a time up where you all can meet, and he'll give you how he does it.
Well, I'll make a suggestion that since our convention is going to be in Huntsville, put him on the program to have a program like that. Would that be okay?
That'd be good.
Now we know where the convention
Somebody else have, did you say John Hall had to say that? Okay, I'm sorry. Any other discussion on the membership? There is no associates. Do we want to take a break or do we want to keep moving forward? We started a little late.
Mr. President, on the association, ABVA, it would be nice if my members received literature from ABVA because they don't receive anything.
We don't receive much at the national level from them.
Okay.
They've had a total change of membership at the national level, and even at the national board, we receive very little information because the associates are separated from us a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Question on the
Mr.
floor.
President, Warren Harmon, Chapter 1067. Barbara Langford, our VVA Life member, we've got several ABVA Life members. She's going to run for president of the VVA for the state in June.
Very good.
And so she will get all that information and pass it out and everything and coordinate with the president of the ABVA.
That'll be great. We look forward to you running and forming your organization and communicating with us. Thank you very much.
Did you say something about a break?
No. I said you want to move through, and people said move through. New business. We deleted is there any other old business that we need to take care of?
Question on the floor.
Mr. President, under new business, we changed the very first item from April to July. So that training session is scheduled for July and date. I think it's
Under new business?
under new business.
Oh, yeah, when we got there, I was going to correct you.
All right.
Yes, sir. But we are under new business in July. There's a training program in Ohio. We traditionally ask for people who want to go. We try to pay your way for as many as we can afford to go. And it shouldn't be that expensive, but we will entertain those applications by our June meeting. The convention will be, I've asked people, and I had a volunteer for Huntsville for the election of officers and the June meeting in Huntsville, June 20th. Is there any other proposal for an alternative? Mr. Harmon, and who has the largest group, volunteered for that position.
That's right. And if I'm the chairman of the election committee, I would like to have 3 of my chapter members as the members of that committee so that we're all right there and we can work together.
Well, we will have an election committee and you'll be the chairman, but they all can't be from your chapter.
Well, they'll have to travel to meet me then.
I'll let you set your committee up. Yes, sir, Mr. Becker.
Since Dean lives in Athens and he's a member of 945.
He can be on it.
Okay.
Mr. Webster, would you be on that committee?
I'll see what we can work out.
That'll be 3 members, and y'all are all close together. Y'all probably can go to meet on the county line or something.
Make sure they serve good food.
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel, yeah.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
VVA Chapter 301. Where in Huntsville? Has that been determined yet?
I don't think so. I think you're still working on the details, right? On the 20th, when it'll be June 20th.
June 20th?
Yes. Saturday.
I would still like to have one of my members on that committee.
We'll let you have an ex officio member. Just let me know who you want.
Okay. I want Bobby Langford.
I don't object. Good of the order by chapter 301.
Creating Representative 301 is present. We have been involved in the community. We have been blessed with finances where that we've been able to give the honor guards $3,000, $500 towards the membership and scholarships. We spent $18,000 for our food drive for Christmas. We have also given money to the Tuscaloosa Christian Church there, $300 for our meetings place there, and $200 for the Southside Nazarene Church where we make our food baskets and the deliveries.
Thank you. Chapter 373.
Chapter 373, we're in the process of dedicating our wall on the 27th of March, 1400. And give you a little follow-up on the wall. I'm gonna let Harry here tell you a little bit about it. We're proud of it between us and chapter 607, which we could not have done without them.
And we started this project quite a while back after we had participated in helping 607 with dedication on some of them. Then they in turn asked us to get involved and put one down in the southeast Wiregrass area, which we, with their assistance and guidance, we have done that. We have 50 names on our wall. We covered 4 counties: Geneva, Houston, Coffee, and Dale. The granite has been mounted. What we're lacking right now is the landscaping around it, because we fully intend to make this a very nice park. It is on the intersection of Highway 123 and 231 in Ozark, right there at the Kangaroo Station and the Love Station. Like I said, it's been great. We've got a lot of television coverage, newspaper coverage, things of this nature. We have pavers on sale. If anyone is interested in pavers, all you got to do is let me know, and I'll make sure you get an application. If you can, please be there for the dedication. It'll be done again on 27 March, 1400, right there at the County Agplex Center. When you pull in off of 231 onto 123, headed south, we're right there on the right underneath the flagpole. Any questions?
Thank you very much.
Cost for pavers? Cost for pavers?
4x8 is $100 with 3 lines of print. 8x8 is $200 with 6 lines of print. And it can be from anyone that would like to help honor the Vietnam veterans. Just because you're eligible for a paver does not put you on the granite. I've had to answer that question many times. So anyway, anything we can do to help, please let us know. Matter of fact, Mr. Sassenet's got a copy of the applications right there. And I have some more if he doesn't have them. We'd like to thank 607 for their assistance in this. They have been tremendous. I would like for all their chapter members to realize that this has been a hand-in-hand project throughout, and we really appreciate it. Look forward to doing another one over in Henry County.
Thank you, sir. Chapter 416.
Chapter 416, we donated $1,000 to Paradise, California, Chapter 582. I'm sure you know about Paradise, where most of the city was burned. They currently have about 40 people still living in Paradise. Some of them have homes, some of them are building homes, some of them are still living in their vehicles. We sent them $1,000. When I talked to their president, I asked him the main thing they needed, and he said water, because their community water is terrible, and they had 2 tractor trailer loads of MREs. So they needed water to make the MREs functional, okay? I also sent them a couple of cases of coffee to go with the water. We donated $500 to Jack Ferranti, who's president of the Alabama Blind Veterans Association. We gave $500 to Samson Strength Sustainable Veterans Project. They're building tiny homes, miniature homes, and establishing communities for homeless veterans or veterans that want to live independently. They're up in Clay County, I believe. Anyway, they spoke at our last chapter meeting, as well as Admiral Davis. We also, this March, Thursday, the 26th of March, is going to be a town hall meeting at the Birmingham VA. It's a multiple purpose meeting. If you have a VA claim that's stuck in the system, come see them. The Montgomery VA staff come up with their laptops, and I actually had a member some time ago that went in to check on his claim, and they kick-started it, and 3 days later he had a check in the bank. We also, if you're a gun enthusiast, March the 21st and 22nd, we have a table at the gun show, literature and all of that, at the Hoover Met here in Birmingham for the spring gun show. It's over at, well, it's at Hoover Met. I forget the name of the pavilion over there. It's a great facility. Anyway, I believe that's all I've got. Thank you.
Mr. Becker.
We talked the time for that meeting is on the 26th.
All right, the
11 o'clock.
yeah, it's at 11 a.m. It's on the 9.5 floor. If you've never been to this is at the main VA. You take the elevator to the 9th floor, walk down a long hall, and you take another elevator for a half floor. VA couldn't afford a whole elevator.
That's compensation.
All right, chapter 502.
502, we've got, some of you know, the memorial there in Anniston, with the Vietnam Memorial. We also got the Alabama Law Enforcement Memorial. And on May the 15th, we'll be unveiling 8 names that were killed in the line of duty in the state of Alabama this last year. 5 of those are veterans. 5 of those 8 policemen were veterans. They'll be there with their families. The governor will be there to do the unveiling of the gun. And she's been up there 3 times. This will be the 3rd time she's come. We're losing the law enforcement officer. To find a lot of them, I believe the Carter guy from Birmingham here was a veteran, but his name will be unveiled. But there's just so many of them in there. It leaves a heartbreak situation. Did you know him? Do you know that guy, Becker?
Sir.
Sergeant Carter that got killed here in Birmingham, police.
Yeah.
He's a veteran.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's what we got going on there. We've got a lot of other things, but that's the main thing. May the 15th, if you'd like to come down there and shake hands with the gov, whatever, that's fine. Thank you.
Chapter 511.
Could I, please, I forgot something. You know, March the 29th is the official Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day, congressional approved and all. March the 28th, 416 will be up at Coleman Veterans Park at our memorial wall up there, which was the first moving wall in the United States, made out of Zimbabwe granite, has 1,209 names on it for KIAs from Alabama. Like I said, it was the first moving wall, but it has a temporary home there. It may move. March the 30th at the Birmingham VA at the clinic, we'll have another Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day for the patients that come in, and we will be pinning veterans at both events. The difference is, Coleman, we have brochures and coffee. At the clinic, we have cake.
Where would that move?
Sorry?
If
It
moved-
hasn't been moved. It's, don't know.
No, it's subject
If it
to,
was gonna be moved.
It hasn't been
it's
decided.
subject to move.
Thank you.
Go, that's 511, please.
Ron Webster, Chapter 511. We're beginning our 20-plus year for scholarships. We're going to award 5 more this year. We've done 5 in a number of years past. We have, in 1993, I believe it was, we erected a Vietnam memorial wall at the State Welcome Center on southbound I-65 coming into the state. And just within the last couple of weeks, we discovered there's been a lot of vandalism to that wall and a lot of deterioration. We've started a committee, and we're hoping to get some local response as far as support to rebuild that wall and correct it before it falls down. It's a sad situation. The 26th of March, for the Vietnam Veteran Commemorative Day, we're celebrating the 26th of March. It's the Alabama Veterans Museum in Athens that is going to host the celebration and provide a speaker, and there will be lunch, not just cake, lunch. And so we're looking forward to that and their continued support. We also are a charter, is it a charter member of the museum? Yeah, we're an annual supporter of the Alabama Veterans Museum in Athens every year, and continue to that, our support to the USO and other veterans organizations. We're growing, we're at 200 strong right now, and we're living large, having a good time together.
Thank you. Chapter 6107.
Chapter 607, David Payne, Presidente. I'll ping off of what Harry said, that in 1994, y'all know the story, we started these monuments all over the state. That was sanctioned by the state council. Motion was passed, motion was accepted, and as to date, Ozark is the only chapter in the state that has picked up the gauntlet and moved on with a monument. At present, we have 1,211, and I think there's some new names that have been added to the list, but not to the wall that I know of.
Nope.
Huh? Y'all got them tagged on?
Nope.
Okay, well, we've got some
Because they
new
wasn't
names.
dead when we built the wall.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyhow, we add them to the walls if we have someone that is brought forth to us from a certain area. We just add them to the walls if they're born in that county. And I still ask every chapter here to step up and do these. They're inexpensive to do. We said we were going to do it. A Vietnam vet has said from the get-go, the mission's not finished until we're through and we're going home. And we're not finished because there's 67 counties. Of those 67 counties, though, not everybody had a vet from Vietnam that died in Vietnam. So therefore, we're less than 67, and we've already covered a third of the names probably from 27 counties. So we don't have that far to go, so I ask everybody here, I know everybody has their own projects, but it's still, we accepted this mission, let's do it. We helped with Ozark on February when was the date?
27th.
27th. when they dedicated it. We had some good dignitaries there that were the State Board of Veterans Affairs had representation there. The county had representation there. The city. Excellent location. We're hoping to get the next one going up in Sylacauga and in Chilton County, I think in that general area. That covers the counties going up towards Tuscaloosa. And it's well worth it. All right, Ken, did I talk about the coin?
I don't know what you're talking. I know about them.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay. All right. Well, y'all remember the patches that most of y'all have on your vests? The Vietnam patch, Alabama patch. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
These?
Yeah. All right. We now have a coin that looks just like that. If you have your chapter wants to do these coins, I have a vendor that you can go through and get them. It's pretty reasonable. Ours has chapter 607 on it. Yours could have 1067 on it or whatever. But very inexpensive and easy to get done. Just check with me if you want to do it, because the people that are doing it, we'd like for them all to be the same, look the same anyhow, instead of having different coins, because it follows the patch, which is our patch. And we've grown from about 70 or 80 to 154 lately, and I think we're doing real good. Getting a lot of new members coming in. And that's all I have for 607.
864.
Oh, and we took 100 and something things to the State Veterans Affairs for them to take to the different nursing homes. You wanted us to mention that so you can put it on your docket.
Chapter 864.
Terry Skinner, President of Chapter 864. We helped a veteran in Robertsdale who had a stroke, can no longer work. Gave him $500 this year. We're working with WF Green home in Bay Minette. Some of the veterans there want to join the VVA chapter, and we are going to make them able to become life members through our donations. And we are looking forward to more service projects and donation days in conjunction with Walmart this year. They stopped it for a while last year, and as I understand it, they are letting people in now to take up donations at the doors. So, and we're also going to be meeting at WF Green in Bay Minette twice a year for our regular monthly meetings. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. You might want to check with the national level if you have a VVA eligible member and they're permanently in a home. I don't think there's a fee for them to belong. So check with that, please, the national membership level.
It's a way. Comes under permanently hospitalized.
That's correct, but I was trying to help them understand.
Right, they have a form on the VVA website.
Yes,
If they're in-house, yeah.
you might want to get with Mr. Harmon to help you. Chapter 945.
John Hall, President, 945. We've been continuing with our Tuesday morning breakfast at 7:30. It's a social breakfast. All veterans are welcome. We have probably 35 to 40 members come on a Tuesday morning. Lately, we've been giving money to the American Legion on a rehab program at the building that we share. We just gave them $500. We've given $300 to the Boy Scouts. We gave $100 to the Kiwanis Club as a social and neighborhood assistance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 1067.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Charlie Miller. I'm the president of Chapter 1067. We are 614 strong. That just doesn't happen. Okay? I have a program called the President's Challenge. Okay? And that means every man get a man. Everybody in my chapter better bring a new man in there. Okay? Right, chapter
Yes,
membership
sir.
chairman?
Yes.
So at our annual membership, we're going to award the first, second, and third place leaders in that. That's how you grow your chapter. Okay, I just want, and then you grow them like this. I want to recognize someone. Wathan, can you stand up? Can you stand up, Mr. Knight? Mr. Knight is our membership chairman. And then he got Mr. Wathan as his assistant. How many members have you brought in since you've been here? You know, about
I don't count them, I just bring them.
about 40 members. He brought about 40 members, sir. We appreciate your service, and it is a full-time job for him. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Rick. She didn't get mad at me, but she didn't know I was going to do this. Can you stand up, Miss Barbara? I tell you what. Some of you corporate leaders, you know that in order for you to be successful, you got to have a good secretary. Well, there's your one right there, but you can't have her, okay? But she can tell you how to get your program started, how to get your information out, and touch the lives of all of your members. Thank you, Barbara, for all you do. Okay, on with my report. Mr. President, we did approximately 7 funerals of chapter members last year. Okay, and that we take much pride in. We have support. We're going to have our Vietnam Veteran Celebration Day on the 28th of March, and I'm going to invite all of the presidents to come. I know some of you all already have something going on that day, but I'll still invite you because that's what we do as leaders, invite one another. Okay, we expect about 1,000 participants in that program. I just want to encourage you to do this, to help our military. We speak to local schools. We go and we tell our stories. And the reason for that is we want to touch the lives of the junior ROTC personnel so that they would consider the military as a career. It's not a bad deal, you know, except for when we have Vietnam. That doesn't happen with every 50 years, so invite them. And here's what we do. Last night, Warren Harmon called me, and he says, Charlie, we got a problem. And that's typical for Warren, okay? So we had a veteran, fellow Vietnam veteran, coming from Texas going to North Carolina. And he broke down in Priceville, Alabama.
His motorhome burned up.
His motorhome burned up. We responded. I authorized him to go over there, pay for the guy's room, and he paid for food. And on Sunday, where's John? On Sunday, John gonna pick him up and take him to Cookeville, Tennessee. That's what we do, guys. That's why I'm a member of this chapter. I appreciate Wayne, you and Roland. I appreciate you guys for what you do for our chapter. Thank you so much. And then one last comment here, and I'll sit down here. We did go to Touch Fan. Okay, you would just be amazed at the number of like he said, there are a lot of Vietnam veterans in these veteran homes. We carried our team there, and we had a little short program, and we broke down into squads, and we went to room. We pinned all of our veterans. And Josh took...
Tell me about the prison ministry.
Oh, and the prison, obviously we do the prison ministry. Yeah, we were instrumental in getting the war and the Bill of Barracks for veterans. There are a lot of, in Limestone County, there are a Medal of Honor winner in there. There's I forgot what the devil he did, but there's just a lot of Silver Stars in there. I mean, they just lost it when they got back. And we promised that we would never ever leave any man behind. We're gonna hold fast to that. No veteran. Thank you so much.
Is there anything else that anybody would bring up for the good of the order? If we would stand now, and Mr. Yates.
I would.
What?
Why?
I can, you didn't raise your hand. What do you want?
I'm leaning forward.
Okay.
It's business.
What?
All you, if you gave me your information for your awards, I got it here. If I don't have it here, you're not gonna get any awards. Because I'm not gonna go to the people and have to keep going back and forth. You knew about it. If I don't have it today, we don't get an award for you. Okay. No,
Got a question back there.
Got one more back here.
Jack?
Yes, sir, I would like to bring up two things real quick that I think that we are to, as veterans, Vietnam, should at least in our prayers remember this is the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Iwo Jima. And also this is also an anniversary for the first cab bring the POWs in Manila that were held there by the Japanese. So let's remember those in our prayers.
I know Mr. Yates will remember those in our prayer. Please stand and be adjourned with a prayer.
Uncover. Dismiss us, Lord, with your kind mercy, traveling grace. Remember those that were lost, the POWs and MIAs, the families also that paid the price. And Lord, we pray for those that are in our nursing homes, are in the problems that they face with the dementia and Lord, and Alzheimer's. It's a terrible disease that, Lord, that you know how to handle. Guide us, use us, give us safe passage to our homes. Amen.
Amen.
VVA Chapter 1067, Serving Vietnam-Era Veterans. Never again will one generation of veterans abandon another. Thank you for watching.